Hey guys, it's Cal from the Lighting Doctor here. I hope you guys are going to enjoy this consultation series. We're going to give you all kinds of tips and tricks for effectively and properly lighting up your home. This is a free consultation that we do for all our clients. So if you want to get your free consultation, just shoot me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca. Send me a few pictures and we'll give you a video presentation of what lights are going to work best with your property, or go and visit us at lightingdoctor.ca or go check out all our videos on YouTube.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for reaching out, for sending your pictures. I love the Halloween decorations. Very well done. So yeah, I'll give you some ideas for lighting now, and some cool things you can maybe incorporate with your Halloween lighting too. But you can get some colored filters for some of these lights that I'm going to propose, and in the holiday seasons or in Halloween, you can throw those on, and it just changes the color a little bit, just to kind of help blend into your Halloween lighting effect. Anyway, so the way I would go about lighting your property, you're primarily going to be using, I'll show you some uplights and probably some path and area lights. So kind of between these guys are going to do most of the project. And I think will do the best job. And realistically, 90% of the lights that we install, we get most of the effect with these two lights here. So the way I would go do that is I'll start in this front section here. I mean, no question, I would want to get one of those up lights kind of at the base of this tree and just have it shining up. Make this a bit of a feature tree in this front area. And then something I like doing anywhere where you have these rocks is using those path and area lights. I like them because you don't see the lighting effect here, so all you really see is what lights up down below. And why I like using them by rocks is that you really get a lot of reflective light off of the rocks, especially when they're nice bright colors like this, and it really makes them stand out. So I would probably try and get your uplight here, and then I would maybe do a path and area light somewhere in here. I'd probably try and do one kind of somewhere over here and one up here, really to highlight and feature those rocks, and it really makes them stand out. So just a few lights in this front area here, and then I would move on to really highlighting and accenting the house here. So all kinds of great pictures, gives me a pretty good idea, but I just want to try and see where I get the full view again. But yeah, let's start left to right here. So left to right, I would use those accent lights, and how I would use them is I would get them fairly close to the house behind these shrubs, probably only about 12 to 18 inches back, and have them almost shining straight up on both sides of these shutters, so that you really highlight and accent the nice brickwork you have on both sides of this window, and then as well on this window here. Now the nice thing with these two lights is a lot of this light is going to catch this top peak, but you are going to miss this second or this section here in this peak. So what I would recommend doing, and I love doing, and this will set you apart from 90%, if not 99% of people who install landscape lighting, but is lighting this second story peak. And it's actually quite simple to do, because all you have to do is actually just run the wire up the eaves trough here and in the gutter. And because all the connections are waterproof, you can make your connections right in the gutter. It's totally hidden. You don't know that wire is even there. And then you just mount that light with a gutter mount. So basically this is something that just fits right inside your gutter, and then it screws onto the side of the house, and then your fixture just screws into here as opposed to on a ground stake. So I would probably mount, and the only thing is, because this is not a super high peak, the only difference is I would use a wash light as opposed to one of these, because I feel this will just be too bright, whereas this will just be a nice subtle light on that second tier here. And because you have the two lights here, you are going to light most of this peak. But if you find that once you've installed it, it's not quite bright enough, what you could do is you could put another one of those gutter mounts here, and then just mount another accent light right here to catch this second story peak, which wouldn't be a bad idea anyway, but I would almost say you want to see how it looks from down below first. So that's how I would do that area here, and then I would follow that same concept going across the house. So I would try and get an accent light, again, fairly close to the house here, 18 inches back or so, and have that shining up right in between this window here, because if you don't put anything there, you end up with this big dark spot. So by doing that, you're accenting this whole area. Again, you're not going to have, you're not going to get a lot of that light up there. But what you could do is you could maybe try and bring that light back just a little bit further and really have it shining up, and just use a slightly higher intensity bulb to try and get that. The other option is you just put your standard accent light in here, and then you try and do the same with one of those wash lights by gutter mounting it right in here, so you get this second peak. And then I would also try and mount a light somewhere on this peak. Now I know there's no gutter in here, so here you might actually have to mount it just to the top of the roof. It's really easy to do. You can go get any mounting bracket or anything at like a Home Depot, and just keep in mind that all the lights have a 1/2 inch thread. So whatever mounting bracket, as long as it has a 1/2 inch thread on it, you could easily mount it to the top of this roof here. But it is a little more work, obviously, to mount lights up here, but I think lighting these peaks is something that most people miss. And then if you're up for the challenge, I would definitely recommend trying to do that. And again, it'd be easy to run that wire up and then around in here to get the wire up to those lights. Same thing, you have a looks like a gutter over here that you could just run it around and up. So it would actually be quite simple to do. But anyway, that's a long version of it, but definitely accent light in here. And then what I would do is on the front of the house, in this area, I would definitely try and get, again, 2 of those accent lights here that really highlight the entryway. And because you have the nice white peak and these nice stone pillars at the base, it's really going to stand out, because anytime you're lighting any white features, you get a lot of that reflective light, and it really makes that stand out. And I always like highlighting the entryway, because that's makes it the most inviting feature of the whole house. And the only thing that I would say is with those 2 lights there, you're going to want to put something in called a hex baffle. All this is this little honeycomb shaped filter that basically just fits right underneath the lens here, and all it does is it helps deflect the glare a little bit, so that as you're walking out of the house, you're not going to really catch that a side view of that light. It's really just going to light this pillar, and it just kind of blacks it out a little bit from your viewing angle walking in or out of the house, so that you don't have any light shining in your eye. So hopefully that makes sense. And then I would do the same thing on this pillar over here. I would definitely try and get one of those accent lights here. Again, because you have the nice white pillar. And when you do that, especially when you have the white kind of soffits up top, it almost looks like you have pot lights, because it lights up this area really well too. And it often will give you a little bit of reflective light that just very subtly highlights down below on some of the shrubs. Something else you may want to consider is if you are doing these peaks here, I think especially I would try and do this middle one, but it's not a bad idea to try and get like a wash light and light that second story here, because you're going to have this second story lit from the light down below, but you're not going to have any light here. So it might create a little bit of an imbalance where you want to put, again, one of those gutter mounts with a wash light that just gives it that subtle second layer of light. But that's if you want to go into that second story lighting, which kind of takes you to the next level. And I don't mean that as a bad pun, but it brings you above what most people do with landscape lighting. But you can always do that later too. So anyway, I hope that made sense on the front of the house. Accent light, accent light, accent light, accent light, and then the 4 on this side. And then if you want to do that second story, you've got your accent light on this tree in the front. You've got a couple path lights. And then the last thing I'll mention is whenever we do that kind of accent lighting, and because you have the walkway, I like to spread some path and area lights along this side here. And the way I usually try and do that is just staggering them in between where you have your accent light. So for example, if you have your accent light here and your accent light here, you may want to throw a path light in here. You may want to throw one in here. You've got your accent light on this back section of the house, and you throw another path light in there. And same thing on this side. You have your accent light here, and then you might throw 2 path and area lights in here. And what that does is it helps shed a little bit of light on some of these lower lying shrubs, outlines the pathway, and it creates that different tiers of light. So you have some up lighting, and then you have some down lighting. And then I would probably try and get an accent light again on this guy here to highlight this, and then maybe another 1 or 2 path lights just to finish off this area and highlight this this rock wall feature. That's another reason why I like using path and area lights on an area like this, because not only are you kind of creating those different levels of light, you're also going to be splashing some light down a little bit. That's going to help highlight this nice rock wall feature you have here. So I think that covers most of the areas that we talked about. And then, in an area like this, if this is something you wanted to accent, you could definitely throw a couple more accent lights in here. I think because it's a little bit wider, you may have to light it from two different angles. But I think you've got lots going on here that you can work with just really, like I said, 2 or 3 staple lights, a couple small little accessories to help make it stand out a little bit more. And yeah, we'll go from there. Let me know what you think of all that, Jeff, if you want to do that second tier lighting, what you like of all those ideas. And then I can put a custom kit together for you that's got everything, including, the hex baffles, the gutter mounts, the right intensity of bulbs for, for example, for that second story area like in here. So let me know what you like, and we'll put all that together for you. And if you like everything I said, then I can definitely customize a kit with all those suggestions. Thanks, Jeff.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video presentation with some great tips and tools on how to go and properly and effectively light up your landscape. And be sure, if you want your own free consultation video just like that one, send me an email at cal@lightingdoctor.ca with a few pictures of your property, and we'll get back to you with some really cool ideas and ways to go and effectively light your property. And be sure to watch the videos after this one for more tips on how to install landscape lighting, as well as how to light up your landscape the best way possible.